Hey folks, in this video we're going to be doing an unboxing and installation of the H100i RGB AIO, which means all-in-one water cooler. And this particular model that I got for my build is white and RGB to fit with the color scheme overall of my build, but this also comes in black and black with RGB, as well as different tiers of the model as well. That said, let's break into this thing. There we go. Now we have got it. Open. Alright, we've got that plastic wrap taken care of, so now let's just take a look around. On the top it says super chilled. The front you just have this picture of the device, the side you do as well. On the rear here you have some dimensions and statistics about the water cooler, and then another photo as well as a photo of the base plate. So now let's see if we can figure out a way to get into the box here. Oh, it's very easy. Just open that up. The whole box opens, and you get a little warranty guide and some instructions presumably in here. Toss this to the side here. In the case you get, let's see. Alright, so first you get your two RGB lit fans. Those are very cool looking. I'll break one of these out of the packaging so I can show it up close. Alright, that's a pretty cool looking fan, all white, RGBs around the ring here as well as inside the fan, I believe. So now let's take a look at the AIO itself. So here we have the radiator in white, color theme just with the rest of it. It's got a Corsair logo there. Let's break this out of the packaging to get a closer look. Alright, so here we have a very hefty pump and base plate, and then I'm not seeing any bottles of water in here, so I'm assuming it comes with the water inside. That's kind of the point of being called an all-in-one, so that should be the case. And then you have your cables for power for the device. This should power the water pump as well as possibly allow the RGB lighting to take place, although I'm not sure if that's intended, because there is also a micro USB port on the water pump itself, and I assume that is for the control of the RGB lighting. So, that all taken care of, let's look into this. These seem to be the mounting solutions for the AIO. So you have some plating there with screw holes, and then some plating in this one as well. And I presume these are two different options based on what type of CPU you are using. So that's what these things are. Alright, and then get all of the many screws that are included, and there are a great number of these. There are two fans to install the entire radiator to fit into the PC, so it makes sense that there are a number of these screws. And then here we have the motherboard inputs to be sent to the micro USB port on the water pump itself, again presumably to handle the RGB lighting. So, and that is everything in the box. So now that we have that taken care of, let's move into the installation. So the first step in this process is going to be to slot your CPU into the CPU's socket and secure it correctly. Then you're going to want to attach each of the fans to the radiator. Don't worry about bending the fins around a little bit. It's meant to go in between where water is actually traveling, so you won't puncture anything. Also, make sure the fans are set up to be an intake for your case, as that is how this radiator works most efficiently. For this next step, you're going to want to mount the radiator to whatever mounting bracket is available for your case. That is assuming that your case is like mine and it comes with a modular mounting bracket, which can be put in separately using some thumb screws. But if your case has installed mounting hardware for your radiator, you're going to want to do that after you've installed your motherboard. So with that done, the next step is going to be to make sure you have on the proper bracket for your CPU. Now, if you're running an Intel CPU, this is going to be easy. It comes with a bracket pre-installed. If you're like me and you're running an AMD chip, in this case an AM4 socket chip, you're going to want to install the two-pronged mount for this. And that's just a matter of pulling off each half of the bracket that comes pre-installed and pushing the new one in until it clicks. I did it a little messy, but it's not that hard. And then next, what you're seeing here is me screwing in partially the threads for the thumb screws, which go on to the mount for an AM4 chip. And for an AM4 chip, you just have these two thumb screws, and those square brackets go around the pre-installed mounting hardware on any X570 motherboard intended for these AM4 sockets. And so once you have those square brackets around those two prongs on either side, you just screw in those thumb screws. Next, you're just going to want to install your motherboard and whatever is necessary to install your radiator to the case that you're using. So the last big step in this process is the wiring of the fans to the water pump wires. So these are the power wires, and there's going to be one to each of the fans, and this comes off the water pump. And the clips for this are slightly offset, so you're not going to actually worry about clipping it into the wrong place. You're going to know immediately if you're trying to do it in the wrong orientation or with the wrong clips. These clips are for the RGB header control, so that all the RGBs are synchronized between the water pump and the fans. And same thing, just plug it into one of the fans for each, and the clips on these are centered, so again, you're not gonna be plugging into the wrong thing, you're gonna know. So for connecting the water pump to power, you're gonna need a PSU to SATA power cord, and then you're gonna need to connect that 4-pin header to the AIO or CPU fan header on the motherboard. So once you've managed the wires for that and gotten the rest of your PC built and ready to go, this is what the AIO from Corsair is going to end up looking like. With a static color, it looks very nice, it matches the build quite nicely, and if you're going with a white theme, it's a good move. And then here it is with some moving colors to give you an idea of what that looks like, and it looks very good to me. So all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to join me in the next one. Thanks so much for your support.